So here we are as promised, the F4 Phantom. It took a bit longer than expected, but that's mostly because I don't really like the plane. It's very fast, has some of the best acceleration in the game, is very fast at altitude, and the guns are an absolute pain to use. Of course you can use the gunpods. I use the gunpods in the game after this one. At this point of time I'm just not too sure on what I should use. When I bring the missiles and the gunpod I feel like I have more effectiveness, since 4 missiles could of course translate in 4 kills. And the extra 2 gunpods don't add any extra gun time. However, if I did have a gunpod, I probably would have killed him there. Nonetheless, I'm still kind of conflicted. But, you know, the guns don't really hit that hard, even though you have like 35 kilograms a second. In theory, it's a very good gun system. But the aiming reticle being angled down 3 degrees below the nose is really awkward to use. And the fact that the rudder and the roll is so responsive, it actually makes it a bit too twitchy. And at times when you're trying to get lead on someone and he starts rolling around, you don't only have to roll to compensate, you have to roll and then also have to pull to negate the fact that your gun is slanted downwards. So all in all, it's actually quite annoying to aim. Some people really like it, like Whoopty over here, he loves this plane, and I'm not one of those people. You go fast, and again, that's pretty much all you do. You just cancel roll a bit, you try to dodge people's shots, and you just fly away. Till now I'm not really scared of anything. I can just run away from everyone. Of course the other F4s and sometimes MiG-21s can be a bit of a problem, but MiG-21s loses so much speed in a single engagement that I can just accelerate away. I don't even have to accelerate away, I can just fly away. And arguably, yes, this thing could be potentially very good if you had like furballs and if you could just go in there and hose everyone down. But because of the way this thing flies and the way it pulls and the fact that the guns are slanted downwards, in reality it doesn't really happen. Of course I could start playing this thing until I get like a 7, 8, 9 whatever kill game, but that's not the reality of this plane. It's very repetitive. If you have seen Orange Doom's video, then you know what he said, and I completely agree with that. This thing is one of those planes that you just take out time after time hoping you get a different result. And 9 out of 10 times the result isn't any different. I mostly average around 1, 2, 3, 4 kills a game and a lot of fucking assists, and you will see that in the game after this as well. It's just such a pain to fly, really. Of course I'm in a squad, which makes it a lot more bearable, which is also one of the reasons I don't fly this thing alone. Of course you don't always have a friend to bring with, and I tried it a couple of games, about 10 games, and I just hated it. Like sure I can cripple 7 people and I only get 2 or 3 kills. And what happens then is that they're crit, and sabers that are crit don't really care. So my team fails to kill them and I just get killed by them. It's just annoying to fly, really. And the moment you have to like 8v1, of course it's not a thing in any plane that you can say, oh, this thing is good at going 8v1. No. But the problem is that this plane is so stiff, unless you're like below 8 minutes of fuel, that you have to run away. And when you have to run away from 7 people, where 2 are maybe in the same plane and you can't outrun them, it's pretty much a death sentence. You can't really outdo anyone. Of course when you fight a group of MiG-19s or a group of sabers, you might be able to do something, but there's always going to be 1 or 2 F4 Phantoms in the enemy team that will be able to just sit on your ass. You have to dodge them, and then the people that can actually outturn you will just park on your 6. Unfortunate bad lead. Again, if I had a gunpod I probably would have killed him there, but it's whatever. It's just, and I'm sorry for the lack of content as well. I've been very busy. Last week I worked for about 90 hours if you include the time I spent in the travel. So that's why this is going to be a little bit of a short one. I just want to put something out for you all. And that's why I picked the F4 Phantom, because I really think this thing is boring. I really think that I shouldn't have to emphasize on too much stuff, because it's just such a straightforward plane. There's not many tips I can give you, and you can see me here with the stock gun. That is just, the spread is horrendous, and that doesn't really help with the target acquisition, because when I hit someone I'm gonna only be hitting like 2 or 3 rounds, and that's not something I really want. And the T2 was already damaged. He was slow, so it was very easy for me to hit him. Shoot another missile, don't see the F100, almost team kill him in the process. He starts flying into the sun, which isn't very good for me. Start priming up the missile. Was so busy looking at the MiG-19 that I didn't even notice that hit right there. I just saw it for the first time. Set him on fire and he falls apart. And for the next game, this will be actual commentary on the game and not as much as a rant. And what I'm gonna be doing is here is 3 gun pods. Upgraded belts, I shoot right below him, draw a bit to the right, expecting him to pull into my shots. He does so, it's only a crit, so that makes me very sad. I'm just gonna extend for now. I don't want to like start turning and lose all my speed and then get dove on by the people that are still in the back. Because I know that there's still 1 or 2 or 3 people like hanging in the back. Maybe an F-100, maybe an F-2C, but I didn't accelerate. Maybe a guy with join in progress on. And I see an F-100. He's not paying attention. I think I'm still going to aim above him because I know he's there. And he actually neck G's. I didn't expect that at all, so I just completely missed it. And that's assist number 1. And you're going to be seeing a lot of those this game. I'm behind everyone, so what I do is I turn back around. I'm going to be engaging the F-100, which is relatively slow. He's pitching up now, which makes it even easier for me to go after him. But the F-4 Phantom looks to be looking at me. We both dodged the head-on, but him going for that head-on, or at least pretending to go for that head-on, made it so that I couldn't pull after the F-100. I'm at 4 kilometers, going 600. I see a MiG-21 come out of nowhere. I know he has a very big trouble trying to get guns on. So I just roll around his guns. I go back down, about to kill the F-100, and he gets killed by a friendly. MiG-19 chasing an F-100. F-100 is potentially in big danger here, so I want to be there as soon as I can. But I don't want to end up too far in front of him or too close to him from behind, because that makes aiming this thing a lot harder. Yes, that sounds very counterintuitive, but I like aiming this thing a lot more like 700 meters than close range, because the closer range you are, the more off-putting the gun angle is, at least in my opinion. Of course, you're free to disagree, but that's my finding. And here we go again, we're starting to extend away. He gets hit by a missile, no idea if that actually did any damage. At this point I think he did get damaged quite badly. He's going up. F-100 I was going for gets killed. I don't want to turn around right here. I could have gone for the MiG-19 who was behind me with the friendly, but doing so would bleed a lot of my speed and then I get caught by the 4 supersonics that were behind him. So instead I just extend, I just go for the T2 that's right in front of me. As they are in the dogfight, I don't think anyone has the upper hand right here. Trying to predict the T2's roll, but he's so small and squirrely that it's very hard to predict. He is almost stalling out. I almost miss him, and then he flies into my guns. And that's a T2 dead, and I'm turning around as fast as I can to help back with my teammates. There's a lot of enemies over there. There's only one guy over here, and it's about 1v4. So it's safe for me to turn around and engage the pack again. Not too sure what I should go for at this point, but the F4 is shooting our F4, so I want to help him as soon as I can, as the MiG-19 over there isn't as much of a problem. He overshoots, he's just pulling straight for whatever reason. No way I'm pulling that. He lost a lot of speed, so I'm just gonna loop over, but then I see that the MiG-19 is right behind me. I really shouldn't be doing this, but I have a feeling that the MiG-19 is gonna be too fast and not be paying attention to me. He doesn't actually pay attention to me, so that was a good call. Too bad that the F4 got killed right in my face. MiG-19 flying straight. He dodges my shots. Try to shoot a little bit more, not enough lead. Not really enjoying this because there's like 3 people around me, 3 friendlies. So the thing that's gonna happen is I'm gonna get rammed. So I want to get out of here as soon as I can. And there I underlead yet again. Start spraying above him, pull up, get a crit. And by the time I get my guns on him right here, he gets blown to shit. Another guy behind me, not too sure who he's going for because there's too many friendlies near me, so I can't really predict what he's gonna be doing. He looks to be going for me now. But I'm fast and I'm in the same plane, so he's not gonna catch me. I was going supersonic, he went supersonic a bit later, and he's diving, and I still have some altitude, so for now I have a little bit more energy that I can use. And he's not being caught at the moment, so what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be turning away from him in a degree that he can't follow me without getting shot, and then I can just turn back and I'm going to be sitting right on his ass. Here we go, I'm going to be turning back on him, do a little bit of a lead pursuit, and here we are. 0.8 on him, and I'm still gaining a little bit because I'm cutting him off. He has to pull away now. I don't think he even sees me at this point. He waits for the grounds and then he moves. Gonna be predicting his roll because he keeps doing left right. So see, he goes to the right again, so now I'm just gonna shoot on his right and he's gonna roll right into it, and there he goes. Don't be too predictable, it's gonna get you killed. He's crit now. I can pull the lead because he's dumping even more speed than me at this point. I try to pull off the turn off the afterburner, and he gets popped. So that's another assist. Very fun. Gonna be flying away, be looking for the last guy, which took actually quite a bit, and quite far away still. Luckily, this thing is amazingly fast, so going there isn't gonna be much of a problem. And another problem I will have with this plane is the fuel. You have 27 minutes. But because the afterburner uses almost or maybe even more than 3 seconds per second of afterburner, you know, you're gonna be running out quite fast. So I run without the afterburner quite often, believe it or not. When I can, when I have my top speed, I'm just gonna be running well, quote unquote super cruise, because it's not quite super cruising right now. But it gets there very fast. You don't need the afterburner all the time. You're gonna burn your fuel, which is actually a positive thing, because this thing becomes an absolute monster on your low fuel. And I don't mean it like an F-2 Sabre or a CL-13 or MiG-15 bis that becomes a lot better at low fuel. No, this thing starts outmaneuvering MiG-19s. Of course you will lose more fuel or energy than them, so it's still not advisable to do so, but you can actually pull with them and you will out-energy them to a degree. Of course, in a dogfight, a prolonged dogfight, they might actually win. I haven't actually tested it, but this thing becomes very scary indeed. I think it pulls around 12 to 13 Gs with low fuel, which is borderline retarded actually, but you know, the amount of fuel this thing carries is also quite exceptional, so it makes sense. MiG-19 going straight vertical in front of me here, not too hard of a shot. Get a crit with all those rounds, and then I don't want to pull into his guns or into him, and guess who's there? A friendly, right there to clean him up, and that's going to be another assist, because I didn't have enough yet. At this point I'm still hoping that I can drop back down and get the kill on him, but I don't have a lot of ammo. Nope, there he goes, streak times 3. Very sick. And that's gonna be all pretty much. There's still the F6 somewhere here that I completely lost. I'm gonna be looking for him, and as I fly away he gets spotted right on my, I think it's west? I don't know exactly where he was. It's, well, that's pretty much all there is to this plane. You just want to fly fast, manage your fuel a little bit. You don't really have to care about your ammo because you have, well, 1200 rounds and even more if you bring the gunpods. Of course the gun time will be the same, but it's 6000 rounds a minute with 1200 rounds, which is about 20 seconds of gun time, which is quite a long time considering you can shoot for 5 seconds at everyone and still get 4 kills. It's kind of ridiculous. Well, that's all I'm gonna be doing for today. I hope you enjoyed it. This plane was kind of weird to fly, but you could call it an effective meme plane, with the gunpods is like a more effective F-82. So if you enjoy that kind of playstyle, be free to fly this thing. Feel free to check it out. I'm gonna be making another video on Sunday if the time will let me. And otherwise you will see a community post. It's either gonna be a MiG-19S if I can get another clip or two that I can showcase. And otherwise it's probably gonna be a prop. So look forward to that, and I'll see you in the next one.